Welcome, family. This is your girl Queens. I coming at you today. Today I am going to do a tutorial on a cleansing spiritual bath. Okay, so stay tuned as I go through how to do a cleansing spiritual bath. All right. Now, also, we are currently in a retrograde, so this is a good time to do a lot of reversal work, negative energy work, banishing, cleansing work during this retrograde. So I think this is a vital time for us to, you know, engage in these spiritual baths. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do before we even get started is we're going to have us a white candle lit, and we're going to call on the angels and gods and deities of your life. All right, so thank you, spirit guides, ancestors, angels. All right, so I did mine in silence because nobody needs to know who your deities are. That's your personal information and who you're working with. And so I'm going to sage myself. I'm going to sage the area, cleanse it. Now with sage, it doesn't have to be a whole lot of smoke. You guys probably won't see my smoke because I do have my little fan blowing because I had to turn my AC off. Because the AC gets cold. Alright, so I'm just saging. Now I have a bowl. You can use glass, ceramic, metal. This is a metal stainless steel bowl. And I've already washed it out with salt and water to cleanse it, to remove negative energy. So what I'm going to do now is sage this bowl. All right. Sage all my ingredients. They're in their plastic, so it's okay. Just to burn the smoke over them. Remove all negative energy is fine. All right. Now, hopefully my sage will stay lit during the whole time. But if it doesn't, you can definitely use incense. One of the incense that I like to use during spiritual baths is the 7 African Powers incense by him. Okay, and it's really earthy. I like it because it's really earthy. All right, so the next thing I want to do is cleanse your bowl that you're gonna put your spiritual bath in. All right, so I got some Florida water here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is cleanse my hands first, remove all negativity. Thank you, spirit guides, ancestors, angels. All right, so as that's drying, I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna proceed to cleanse my bowl. So I'm just gonna put a little bit more in my hand, and I'm gonna wipe my bowl, remove all negativity, remove all negative energy, cleanse and purify this bowl. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Ase. Thank you. So now my bowl is cleansed, all right? It has been cleansed with salt, sage, and Florida water. So there is no negativity on this bowl. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna do, you're also gonna need a stainless steel pot and one of these mesh bags. All right, right now I got cards in this, but I have an empty one. So you're gonna need one of these mesh bags to hold your herbs in, all right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab all of your herbs. Now I have some herbs that I like to use that I know is good. Is rue. It's good for healing, mental powers, freedom, protection against evil eye, banishing negativity, bad habits, and breaking hexes. So this is rue, and so I'm gonna use a little rue. I'm gonna also use hyssop, a hyssop. Some people say hyssop, some people say hyssop, and it's good for cleansing, concentrating, and purifying. Okay, I'm gonna use some patchouli, which is good for grounding, attraction, and money draw. I'm only using this for the grounding and the attraction because I want to attract a protection. Okay, I'm gonna use agrimony. It repels curses, hexes, jinxes, and enhance the strength of all healing spells. So I'm going to use agrimony. All right. I'm going to use eucalyptus leaf. All right. I'm going to use a little of the 7 Archangels resin. Okay, and this is good for communicating with angels, cleansing, protection, summoning, and healing. All right, I'm going to use some 5-finger grass. All right, and I'm also going to use some devil's claw. All right, and last but not least, I'm going to use some rosebuds. All right, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so this is 9 ingredients, okay? Now, with my spiritual baths, I tell people each spiritual bath should be different. Every time I do a cleansing bath for myself to remove negativity, I don't always use the same ingredients because different ingredients yields different results with different energies because all of these herbs have a different energy and frequency. So whenever you find anyone that has a fly-by-night recipe, you need to tweak it to your energy. Just like when you look up a recipe on to cook a dinner meal, you tweak it to what you like. So that's what the same thing here. So this is not what I sell. Every person I do a bath for, each bath is uniquely designed for that person. I don't have them on standby, on a shelf, waiting. I make them as they are ordered. So I can put my intentions, the universe's energies that are in the atmosphere at that time there. I don't recommend you doing spiritual baths and stockpiling them. They'll be very ineffective, okay? So remember, this is one of those things, what they say at a restaurant, cook to order, okay? So the first one I'm gonna put in, because I only need a little bit of the 5-finger grass, plus I only have a little bit, so a little bit goes a long way with certain herbs, okay? So with the 5-finger grass, I'm only gonna use a pinch. Again, you can use as much or as little as you like, because this is for you and your spiritual path, okay? So I'm gonna put that to the side. I'm gonna put the flowers in last. The next thing I'm gonna do is devil's claw. Now what I will say about some of these herbs for exorcism, like devil's claw, it is quite toxic. So you wanna use very little devil's claw, okay? Very little devil's claw. All right. And some people like to crush them up in the mortar and the pedestal. I don't, okay? So with this is these 2 herbs. I'm going to pick my bowl up and speak my intentions into these herbs. To cleanse, banish, to protect, to make this spell powerful. Ashe. To cleanse, banish, and protect, and to make this spell powerful. Ashe. To cleanse, banish, and protect, and to make this spell powerful. Ashe. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit Guides. And just stay in the attitude of gratitude as you're mixing this up. All right. So now we're going to put some eucalyptus leaves in here. And eucalyptus leaves are good for cutting ties and soul ties and removing a lot of emotional residue. So with the eucalyptus, I'm going to be kind of generous with my eucalyptus and add a little bit more eucalyptus in there. And I'm just going to speak to my eucalyptus and tell it what I want it to do. Cut all soul ties, cut all connections that are negative. Remove all emotional wounds and connections. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now you can say it 1 time, you can say it 3 times, you can speak over your herb 7 times, but always tell your job always tell your herbs what you want it to do. Okay, that's the reason why I leave these labels and I buy herbs. I try to buy herbs with labels that say what they're for and keep them on there. So when I'm talking to my herbs, I don't have to try to figure it out. It's already there. Just like my eucalyptus, I had to remember what is it for. So that makes it a little bit easier. Now with this patchouli, I want to use this for its grounding and to attract the protection. So with this patchouli, I'm going to say to ground this spell back to earth and to attract the protection that is needed to move forward positively in life. Ashe, thank you. And then I put that in there, okay? Patchouli is good for grounding. Any spell you do, you want to ground it back to earth, okay? You want to make sure that the results come back down to earth, all right? Hold on 1 second. All right. So I'm putting my patchouli back up. And so what I usually do is, like I said, open the packages and then I just take the label over it, and that kind of keeps the herbs inside, all right? All right, so now we're down to our, I'm gonna go with the 7 Angels resin. Now with my resins, I only use a few herbs because these are meant to burn, but I do still put a couple, you know, incense in there, because you want to have fire, you want to have all 4 elements in your spiritual bath. So you want to have something that represents fire, something that represents water, something that represents air, something that represents earth. The herbs are already representing earth. So this is representing air. Once I boil it on the stove, that's going to represent fire. And then the water from the pot is going to represent the water. All right. So see how it's all connecting? All right. So let's go with the agrimony, okay? And some people put their herbs in jars and stuff. And I mean, that's all good if you have the space and the money and the resources to, you know, buy all cute little herb jars. But if you don't, it's just good to buy pre-packaged herbs. And like I said, or you can make your own labels, you know, write on them yourselves. I don't have time for all of that. So that's why I buy the pre-packaged herbs. It makes it a lot faster and easier for myself. All right. And we're going to put some agrimony in there. And I'm making 2 spiritual baths, so I might use a lot more of certain things than other things because I might have a lot more of it on hand. All right, so with my agrimony, what I'm gonna say is repel curses, hexes, jinxes, and enhance the strength of spell. Ashe, thank you. Then I'm gonna mix that in there, okay? You don't need that little brick and pedestal, I mean, because if you grind this up too fine, it's going to come out that bag. That's going to be a problem. Because then you're going to have to be sifting it out, you know, or possibly clogging your pipes. Okay? And God wants us to be, the universe and God want us to be good stewards over the resources that He has made available to us. So we want to be earth friendly. How we worship in the earth, but then we're not earth friendly. So you want to be earth friendly. And consider, if you got to dig up pipes, that's manipulating the earth that's already down there. So now we're on to the root. So root is for healing, mental powers, freedom, protection against the evil eye, banishing negativity or bad habits, and breaking curses. So I'm going to put a little of that in my hand. A little bit goes a long way with certain herbs. Healing, mental protection, freedom, protection against the evil eye, banishing negativity and bad habits, breaking hexes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Ashe. You don't have to say Ashe after everything. Ashe is like amen. Thank you is suffice because you're still giving honor. And the last one is hyssop. Now the reason why I use hyssop because I do read Psalms 51 over my herbs as they are boiling on the stove on a medium heat with a top. And this is for cleansing and consecrating and purifying. Cleansing, consecrating, and purifying. Thank you, Ashe. All right. And so the last herb. And if you hear my music in the background, if you can hear me, it is definitely a high frequency vibrations to cleanse. And this is the herbs, and this is to promote love and self-love healing. All right, Ashe. And then with my my rosebuds, I do kind of break those up a little bit with my hands, so I don't have to use as many, because that makes it real pretty. All right. Now the other thing that I forgot about my rosemary, y'all. And rosemary, all right. Okay, rosemary. Rosemary is good for removing negativity. So I'm gonna put a little rosemary in here. Remove all negativity. Thank you, Ashe. All right. So there you have it. That is what my bath is looking like, okay? So what I usually do is while I go and prepare my other containers, I usually put crystals, a selenite that removes negativity, and a black tourmaline, which is good for banishing and removing negativity. And then I just sit this here, and I just allow that to, marinate and the high frequencies play. And then I go in the kitchen and make get my pots and stuff together. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. All right, family. I am now in my kitchen, and I am getting my pot together. I'm going to rinse it out with a little salt. So what I did was, there's my stainless steel pot. So I put a little water and rinse it out already. And then what I usually do is sprinkle a little salt, remove all negativity. And then what I usually do is take my hands, because they've been cleaned with the Florida water before. Remove all negativity and just get that salt to where it touches every aspect of the inside of this container. All right. Get your things going. And then I'm just going to rinse it off real quick with a little regular sink running water. Nothing important. All right. So now you have your pot. It's cleaned out. Let me get rid of the extra water. All right. Now you have your pot. It's cleaned out. And so I take my distilled water. Let me put the pot back a little bit so you can see. I take my distilled water. Okay. Now, do you see that? What it say? Perfect for small appliances. So make sure you guys don't drink distilled water, because it's not made for the body. It's made for appliances. All right. And so what I do with this is just I eyeball it. I don't want to put too much in there. So I fill my pot up about halfway. All right. And so now what I do is I turn my stove on, and I got electric stove, so I put it on about 6 because I want to get the water boiling. All right, and while I'm letting it boil, I put a little rosemary oil in there to help remove negativity. All right, remove all negativity. All right, now because that's oil and water, I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Alright, so that's what the oil looks like in the water. And then I also take a splash of holy water and I put in there, and I say cleanse and purify, consecrate, remove all negativity. Alright, sorry y'all, I got a small space. Alright. So now I'm going to move on to getting my herbs and bringing those in. Now, I did not Florida water my pot because my hands were already Florida water, and we're going to add heat to it, which is cleansing, and it has the water in it, so I didn't see a need to. But if you feel the need to add Florida water or put Florida water in your pot, that's up to you. Clean your pot with Florida water before you begin. This pot is only used for spiritual stuff, so I don't have to cleanse it as much. I've already kind of consecrated it for spiritual stuff, okay? So let's get those herbs. I'll be right back.